Every night, something extraordinary happens, something that, for most of us, slips by unnoticed. You lie down, close your eyes, and fall asleep. But your consciousness doesn't rest. It moves, shifts, transforms. It journeys into strange places, sometimes frightening, sometimes beautiful. Have you ever had a dream so vivid that waking up felt like leaving another world behind? Or perhaps a nightmare so intense it lingered in your chest long after the morning sun? What if these aren't just tricks of the mind, but glimpses of something more? This isn't just about sleep. It's about one of the greatest mysteries of human existence. Where does your consciousness go when your body sleeps? Long before neuroscience, cultures across the world believed sleep was not a shutdown of the mind, but a gateway. To the ancient Egyptians, each night was a small death. They believed the soul, called the Ba, left the body and traveled through the realm of the gods. It would return by morning, as long as nothing interfered with its passage. The Greeks took this further. To them, Hypnos, the god of sleep, and Thanatos, the god of death, were twin brothers, two aspects of the same mystery. Plato wrote that during sleep, the soul was temporarily freed from the senses. In dreams, it could access truths beyond space and time, glimpses of the eternal forms that lie behind the material world. In the East, the Upanishads taught something even more radical. They said that in the deepest state of dreamless sleep, the self dissolves into pure awareness, unlimited, timeless, and blissful. This state, called Turiya, was believed to be closer to the ultimate reality than waking consciousness itself. Sleep, they believed, was not unconsciousness. It was superconsciousness. But our waking minds are too clouded to remember it. Today, science has mapped the stages of sleep in detail. We know that the brain cycles through phases: light sleep, deep sleep, and REM, rapid eye movement, where dreaming occurs. In REM, brain activity looks almost identical to waking life. The only major difference? Your body is paralyzed. It's as if your consciousness is active in a world of its own, while your body lies dormant. But here's where it gets stranger. People have reported incredibly vivid dreams, out-of-body experiences, even sensations of leaving their body and looking down at it, all during these states. Lucid dreamers can sometimes control their dreams, manipulating space, time, and the very laws of physics. They report a heightened sense of self-awareness and even spiritual encounters. If dreams were just random neural firings, why would so many people experience deep emotion, profound clarity, and even transformation within them? Let's talk about lucid dreams. A lucid dream is when you become aware that you're dreaming. In that moment, everything changes. You realize that reality is bendable, that you are not bound by gravity, time, or logic. Some people use lucid dreaming to fly, to talk with long-lost loved ones, to visit imagined worlds, or even gain insight into real-life challenges. But then, there are experiences even more intense, OBEs, or out-of-body experiences. These often occur right as you're falling asleep or in the early stages of waking. People describe feeling vibrations, hearing strange sounds, then separating from their physical body. Some float around their room, others travel through tunnels. Some even report entering higher dimensions, where they encounter beings made of light or cities unlike anything on Earth. Are these just dreams? Or is consciousness slipping through a veil into something science hasn't yet measured? Experiments have shown that during OBEs, the brain isn't completely shut off. It's active, but in unusual ways. In some cases, brain waves resemble those found in deep meditation or near-death experiences. Here we run into the limits of science. We know how to measure brain activity, But we still don't understand conscious experience. Why does the firing of neurons create a vivid inner world? Why do you feel anything at all? This is what philosopher David Chalmers calls the hard problem of consciousness. We can explain how the brain processes information, but not how or why it gives rise to awareness. And when we sleep, this mystery deepens. Your brain is still active, but your reality, your entire sense of space, time, logic, completely transforms. So where does you go during this transformation? Are you just in a simulation generated by the brain? Or is consciousness momentarily detaching from the physical world and entering another mode of being? Thinkers like Descartes believed the mind and body were separate substances. Modern materialists argue that everything is brain-based, but dream experiences, mystical states, and near-death reports all suggest something more. Maybe the brain is not the source of consciousness, but a receiver, a tuner. Like a radio, it picks up signals from a broader, non-physical field of awareness. When you sleep, maybe the tuner changes stations. In Tibetan Buddhism, there's a practice called dream yoga. It teaches that dreams are not illusions, but training grounds for enlightenment. Practitioners learn to remain aware within dreams, to observe their thoughts, face fears, and even explore karmic patterns. The goal? To become conscious in every state, waking, dreaming, and beyond. Because they believe death is just a deeper version of sleep. And if you can remain aware through dreams, you can remain aware through death. In the Amazon, shamans use plants like ayahuasca to enter trance states that resemble dreaming. They describe leaving their bodies and communicating with spirits. These aren't hallucinations to them. They're sacred experiences, parts of a greater reality hidden from waking eyes. Even in Christianity, there are countless stories of divine dreams. Joseph's dreams in the Bible guided nations. Angels appeared to prophets. Revelations came in sleep, not waking. The message is clear across cultures. Dreams are not just mental noise. They're portals. When we consider all this, ancient wisdom, modern neuroscience, personal experience, an intriguing possibility emerges. What if consciousness is not locked inside the skull? What if it's a field, a presence that can localize in the body, but is not limited by it? This would explain why, during sleep, people can access profound insights. Why dreams can contain truths we haven't consciously realized. It would explain why people under anesthesia, in comas, or even clinically dead, sometimes come back with stories. Stories of floating, light, music, and peace. These aren't fringe cases anymore. They've been studied in hospitals, in universities, in labs. The evidence may not be conclusive, but it is suggestive. Something is happening in those quiet hours of the night, and it might be the most important journey we take, over and over again. So tonight, as you drift off, remember, you're not just shutting down. You're stepping into a different state of being, a dimension where thought becomes form, where time bends, where symbols speak. Your consciousness is going somewhere, maybe to a dream, maybe to a memory, maybe to a dimension beyond imagining. And when you wake, perhaps you're not just returning to reality. Perhaps you're stepping out of one dream into another. If this video made you think differently about sleep, dreams, and your own mind, subscribe. Share your thoughts in the comments. What's the most profound dream you've ever had? Have you ever become conscious while sleeping? Let's explore the unknown together. Because when we sleep, we may be closer to truth than we ever are while awake.